Hello guys, ladies and gentlemen, dear friends, welcome to this video. My name is Abdallah, I am software developer. So today I'm going to share a quick video about Git Squashing. So what it is and why do you want to squash your commits, and also how does it work. So first, what is squashing commits? So let's assume that you have a few commits. Here are, let's take this one, it's better. You have, so this is basically you have a few commits, and let's say this one is so it's too big now, font commit 3, and then you have commit 2, and then you have commit 1. It's basically this. And what Git Squashing does is simply merge these 3 commits into a single one, like this. Let me just move the screen a bit. Yeah. So then what you get finally is this one, a single commit, which is going to have this single commit. Actually, how it works is that it just takes the last one, and basically from the Git log it just removes the commit 1 and the commit 2. So let's say you might ask yourself, but let's say if this value from commit 1, you have a value and it will conflict with value 2, so you don't need to worry, because actually Git behind the scenes is simply going to take the last one here and just remove those twos. As simple as that. So this is how squashing works. But the question is, why would you want to use it? Why? So that's a very good question. Basically nowadays there is something called, which is quite common actually, and it's used in a lot of big companies, trunk-based development. So what is trunk-based development, you might ask? So how it works, trunk-based development, is that it is different. It is different from Git flow, like we might know before. We have the traditional Git flow. This one is actually different in the sense that with Git flow previously you had your main branch, your master branch, then you had a development branch perhaps, and then whenever you wanted, so the main branch represented the production. Then if you wanted to create a feature, you maybe you have development branch or not, depends, or another name, dev for example. So the dev branch is basically the alpha, or the branch that developers use to test their own work. So you have 2 or 3 developers that you have a work. One developer has work on A, another on B, and another on C. Then you have this dev branch to test out things. So you made a change, and you have another colleague who made another change, and you want to see if your 2 changes do not have any regression, or if they work fine. But you have companies as well, or organizational teams, who prefer using only main. But the idea behind Git flow is that you have a feature, a big feature, and then you deploy, you merge it back to master, and then you had hotfix, so on, so forth. So that's a bit traditional. And what the biggest critic actually for Git flow has been that it takes too much time, and the way it manages hotfix as well. So there have been quite a lot of critics about the time it takes to deploy features, the way hotfix is used with bugs as well. So many big companies started working on an alternative called trunk-based development. Personally, I know Microsoft doing it for their big projects, because I watched a video on it and it seemed very clear and how it works. So basically you have how trunk-based development works is very simple. You have a Okay, this is your trunk. Your trunk can also be called, it's just a name. It can also be called main or master. And then whenever you are going to be creating a branch here, so this is your feature branch, you just create your branch and then you deploy it in Trunk. So the best thing about Trunk is actually, so you need to be fast as well as a developer. If you're taking too much time, then someone might it happen actually. Yeah? If you just take too much time to test your feature might be over. How to say that? Another developer might push some work that's conflict with yours, and it might be removed. So the biggest advantage of trunk-based development is that you can actually have multiple. So it's really useful in CI/CD. CI/CD means continuous integration, CD continuous deployment. So with Trunk you can have, for example, let's take you have a developer test n and div n, let's say div n, and then you have just copy this one as well. You have a staging for QAs, and then you have your usual production. So how it works is that you are going to be so you're going to deploy on, so automatically in most cases, but this can be configured, is that you are going to, from trunk, you are going to, once you push on trunk, it will automatically be deployed on a dev environment whereby you can test your tasks, your change that you did. And then if you find that it's good, then you can promote it to a staging environment. Normally you do it by one click, depends on the different tools you use. So you have a big variety of tools. For example, here you have platform as well. You have a lot of platforms. You have, for example, just a few: Azure, DevOps, GitLab, GitHub, so all those good stuff. Circle CI, I don't have space. Circle CI, so all of that. And the thing here, just imagine for 1 second that now you're pushing all your commits here into Trunk, and then what happens is that your task is when it goes on staging, you see that it's not good enough. There's the QA points out, as they usually do actually, that there are some bugs and you need to fix them. So on the other side, you have other colleagues who have their tasks that are ready. So how do you do? Let's say you have like half of the dozens of commits, and your colleagues just want to push their changes on production. So you need to go and rebase your commits, and it's a bit complex. Or even if your codes are good for most part, but there is a bug that you need to revert and you don't know why, and you're a bit in a hurry because you need to deliver or you need to remove your code. So this is exactly where Git Squashing helps. It helps a lot actually, because you just squash all of your commits into a single one, and it goes. If it goes, it's good. Otherwise, you just, with one click, you can just revert it, and there's absolutely no issue. So what I also found that is most of these platform here, by default, they have a built-in strategy to just squash those commits, so that it makes it very easy. But you also have buttons. So what I found, let me just write it down. You can just squash commits, but you can also, there's also support for cherry picking. So cherry picking, for example, if you have a front end and a back end, and you thought that both were working, but finally the front end is not working well, so you just want cherry picking the back end code, and you just select it, it's good. So like I said, this is the power of Git Squashing. Very simple, very usable. Now let's go into a demo to make things much clearer. Right, so I'm just going to show you a sample application. In Ruby on Rails, nothing much actually going on, just a sample. I've just generated a, let me show you the app. So when you go to git log, I've just generated the commit and scaffold the post and added the migration. But now let's say I want to have only a single squash. How do I do that? So like another advantage as well of you squashing your commits before you merge in another branch or track, or even if you use the previous Git flow process, it makes your project, your Git and your project, when you visualize on Git, it make it far more simple and it pollutes less, because I agree that committing early and committing often is important and it's recommended most of the time. But then if you have too many commits, it becomes really complicated. That's why you want to squash, you want to make it a habit. But obviously it's a matter of opinion as well. So let's see. We will do it using the command line, but I will also show you, let me also show you how you can do it using a GUI tool like Sublime Merge. Sublime Merge. For example, I've just opened the same application, the same project on Sublime Merge, which is a project by the brain behind Sublime Text. So you should pay actually, but it's unregistered. So the same thing, and doing that is very easy with a UI tool. You just let's say I want to squash those three ones. Just click on it, edit commit, and squash selected commits, and it will ask me some stuff, but at the end it will become a single commit. But just for the sake of this example, we are going to do it manually via CI/CD. Okay. So first we want to do is we want to identify the commits. So we have these three commits, and then let me just copy, and then we're also going to be using Git rebase. I don't know if you've already heard about it, but rebase is an alternative to merge, whereby you have more control over which commit to select or to ignore. So we are going to use I, which means interactive, and the current head. So is this code invalid, so I'm not sure which head to use. No OPP. Okay, this one I think it's no, I missed this. So the number of, it's actually the number, and the number is 3. No, it's 2 actually. Yeah. So it's 2, that means the 2 previous one. If I do head 1, it will be the last one. Rebase. I want to interactively rebase, so I'm not really using, I don't use the CLI often, especially for merge and rebase. I use GUI tools, so we can actually read from it to have a better idea. So we can pick, use commit, reword, we can use commit, but edit the commit, message, edit, but stop from ending. We are interested in squash use commit but melt into previous commit. So like you see, squash, but only you can fix up. So I think fix up, it's a like squash, but keep only the previous commits log message, unless .c is used, in which case keep only this commit. So here we go, all of this. If you remove a line that come here, so with squash rebase interactive, you can actually move the, oops, I missed. You can actually move one commit up and down. So I've used rebase, not a lot of times, just a few times. And then what happened was that what actually happened was I use it with a GUI tool. So let's git rebase it. So it tells me 3 does not work with. So yes, and then we just need to uncomment here what we want. I'm not sure how it works actually. So we just save it, quit, and git status. So did it rebase or not? So there is something that must happen successfully rebase. So it doesn't matter. You can use our handy Git Sublime merge. The only issue if you have the free version is that you can't switch to the doc one. That's why it's like, just come here, edit, squash selected commit, fail only reachable from the head, of course. So we put it here, edit, squash selected commit. Where is it? I can see. Oh, where is it right now? Edit, squash selected commit. So yeah, now you see, I've all these two one have been edit here. So you can revert, squash with parent if you wish. So this is how it goes. And you can, if you have a lot of commits, maybe I will do a tutorial further down the line whereby I put all more information. So I hope it was a nice video and catch you later.